All right, hello everybody. I just wanted to briefly explain how we are going to run through this first test, just because there's a few little things that we just need to cover. So let me go to your Canvas page here. Oops, there we go. Um, so like I said, there's two versions of this class. So this is one of your pages, but the other one's very similar. And what you should see, and I'm going to include this video as well, but you'll see a review for your exam. So this is not graded. This is just for you to do. Somebody put a little note next to it. Sorry, there you go. Tool wasn't working. So the review is not for a grade. You will see a grade attached to it when you do it. And that's just simply just because it's set up as a homework assignment, just so you can get that practice. But it's pretty much all the problems that you would have. So this one has a lot more, as you see, 64 points, 30 points. There's a big difference between the number of questions. Your exam is only almost like less than half of the questions that are on the review. So for your exam, your questions come from the review. So if you practice review, you'll have very similar questions because it randomly generates questions in Pearson. Then they're not going to be exactly the same, but you will have similar questions. So you should have this again, 2 hours, unless you have some more accommodations, 2 hours and 2 attempts. So I just wanted to explain the attempt thing. So the 2 hours, I don't think it tells you the time, but you can run through, set your phone and know what 2 hours it should be. Um, but the test itself tests for like an hour, so you should have more than enough time to get through it, but you have 2 attempts. So if you make some mistakes the first time through, you can try to go back and do it again. And usually nobody's done worse the second time. And the grade that I will keep is not the last one, but the highest of the two, which is generally the last one. So what would happen here is if you click on the assignment from here, it should open for you and take you to that exam. Except it's not open right yet because of the second. It's not open yet because it's not going to open until the 18th. Just a minute here. So just want to show you that should open fine. The problem is that once you run through that exam and take it, this link may not open again. And I said you had 2 attempts. So when you do your first attempt, just log out of the exam. But if you wanted to do your second attempt, you're going to have to go all the way up here to the, oops, sorry, not negative graded review, but you have to go up to your student resources and then go to all assignments. This is probably not going to look exactly the same as you. Maybe it does. And then once that exam is up here, you'll see it in here and you'll just click on it. Like I said, it's currently not available, so you're not going to see the link in here yet. But you just go back in here for your second attempt. So let me run through that one more time. You could open it from here, but it'll only open once. It may not open a second time, and it's just a weird Canvas thing. If you want those at 2 attempts, though, it's better to open from here from all assignments. Like I said, on the 18th, when that exam comes up, you should see it in there and you can do your 2 attempts. That's one thing I wanted to get out of the way because I know a lot of people miss their second attempt because they don't understand how to get to it, and you just have to go to all assignments. Anytime you get locked out of any kind of assignment, that's the first thing you want to try to do is go to all assignments. So like I said, you have 2 attempts, so this will open. All right, open first. February 11th, 18th, and close. I'm confused with another class. On February 23rd at midnight. So it's doing that weird thing where it's changing the, oh, so I think we are the 24th. Let me just check one quickly. Yeah, that should say the 23rd, so I'll go see why it's doing that again. It's scrambling my dates again. Like I said, you should have to do the 23rd like you do with all the rest of these assignments to do that. So that's when it will close. So the second part of this is that when you do those attempts, well, I would definitely suggest this for the last attempt if you think that's going to be the one you're going to turn in. So your last attempt for at the very least, make sure that you write down all your problems and show your work, because right here I got exam paperwork. So this is where you're going to show your work. So keep the paper and write down your answers. So you can take pictures of your phone and upload, or you can scan the whole document and upload it. If I don't get something from you, I will send you a response through the assignment. So you want to check back and make sure I do actually get that written work, because you need to turn this in within 45 minutes of finishing the last attempt. It should be the work from that, like I said, that second attempt. Write it down, show your work, upload within 45 minutes. And we're doing this for two reasons. One is because we couldn't get respondents to work properly for quite a few of us, and there's various reasons that happen. This is a way to kind of proctor the work, because then once you do it, you have to turn it right in. So then I can also check your work to see if like maybe you were close to the right answer and you just made a little mistake. That way I can go back and I can fix your exam. But you see that I get 10 points for this. So like 10% of your grade is simply submitting this. So if it is missing, you are going to miss 10% of your total grade for the class, which comes up to about, let me see, it's about 25% of your exam grade is missing at that point, is what will end up happening if you don't turn that in. All right. So just to kind of briefly go through that again, the review for your exam one that is not graded, it will show a grade, but it will not be in your final class grade or any of your categories. It'll be in an ungraded category. For your exam, you do have 2 attempts and 2 hours for each attempt. And you get that 2 hours partly because you're going to have to keep a record of your written work. So you may need to, just a reminder, for that second attempt, have to open your all assignments from that MyLab math module to do that second attempt. Like I said, just because Canvas sometimes locks those links after the first time you use them. You can use notes in a calculator, because I can't control that, but no AI. So that's one of the things that'll be checked in your written work is for signs of AI, because there are going to be telltale signs of AI. So keep a written record of your work. I should add that right here. Let me add that one more time. So keep a written work of each problem. I know I spelled written wrong. And remember that this is actually worth 10% of your final grade for the class, is just the submitting that paperwork. So if you don't submit any of it, you cannot get an A in this class, because it will drop you a whole letter grade. So you want to make sure that's in there. That is a substantial amount of your grade, though it may not look like it. Because if you're like getting a C and everything, but that is not turned in, you're going to have a D. You want to submit only for your last attempt. So do not, I'm sorry. So if you do only one attempt, only turn in the work for that attempt, and you have to turn this in within 45 minutes of finishing the exam. So I can tell there is timers that tell me how long you worked on assignments, when it was in, when you submitted it. So I can tell if you were more than 45 minutes from doing that. If you're like off by like 50 minutes because you like your documents wouldn't upload or something like that, just send me an email, let me know what's going on. And like I said, I will go through and check it. It will not be till after that Monday when you get that exam in. But after that Monday, I'll go through and I'll make sure that I have all that papers. I'm sorry, all the work that you submitted. And once again, just a reminder, this is going to open on February 18th and close on February 23rd. So the part for the written part will be open just a little bit longer. So it'll say like into the 24th. And that's just because you have like, I added like 2 hours on there. So in case you did your exam at the very last minute, you do have time to submit that other part of your work. My suggestion is don't wait till the last minute to do your exam, because if you have some sort of technology issue, it makes it very, very hard for us to fix things at the last minute. All right, so if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. Do not respond to my announcement because those I don't see necessarily, you do want to send me a Canvas message if you do have questions about the exam. And if you do have accommodations, just double check with me that I get those accommodations in there. I'm going to go through and check on that and make sure you have the accommodations you need for your exam.